You're watching the World Pool Masters on Billiard Club Television, where the greatest players compete for professional pool's most coveted titles. Billiard Club TV is brought to you by Chalk Off, the complete pool table cleaner, and the official table cleaner of Professional Pool. Order yours today at chalkoff.com. And the Billiard Club Pro Shop, where you'll find the greatest deals on pool cues, balls, racks, and a whole lot more. For all your pool and billiard supplies, visit billiardclub.net. Billiard Club TV is your source for championship pool. And now, the World Pool Masters.
Welcome to the seaside resort of Egmond aan Zee on the Netherlands North Sea coast, where there's a party atmosphere for a local fisherman's festival. All the fun of the fair, lots of live music for families enjoying a sunny weekend. But when the sun begins to set, the party atmosphere moves indoors to the Hotel Zuiderduin, home of the partycasino.com World Pool Masters, where Raj Hundal of England is back to defend his title. 16 of the world's leading 9-ball pool players from right around the world, 9 nations from as far apart as China and the USA, Japan and Hungary. Each match a race to 8 racks with alternate breaks. Among the stars, 17-year-old double world champion Wych and snooker superstar Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's day 2, and looking ahead are our commentators Ted Lerner and Jim Wych.
Good day, everyone, and Jim Wych alongside Ted Lerner. And Ted, I told you we're going to enjoy this. We're into day 2 now, and I bet you you enjoyed the day 1, didn't you?
Well, first of all, I've heard a lot about the Dutch fans and how enthusiastic they are about pool, but you have to be here and meet them personally to understand it and how really into it they are. And I think the crowd at home today, we've got a great crowd on hand, and the people watching at home are really going to enjoy it, because not only do we have some great players, we've got some great fans here too.
Well, they saw one of their heroes, Niels Fayen, make his way through to the quarterfinals in day 1, but one of them fell by the wayside, Nick Vandenberg. So there's still going to be very good crowds, and as you say, very enthusiastic. And the defending champion through to the 2nd round, Raj Hundal.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a rough going, and you know, probably played his worst match in a whole year, but he went right back up to the practice table afterwards. He said he worked out all the kinks. He's still in it. That's right, but the focus of our concentration here, day 2, it's going to be a classic battle, snooker versus pool. Steve Davis up against Allex Pagulayan. Well, you know, personally, I like Pagulayan in this match, but you never know what can happen with a guy like Steve Davis, you know, the master and the legend coming in, so anything can happen. But, you know, Pagulayan, he's a U.S. Open champion, and he's such a strong player. Even Davis, by his own admission, has not been playing much 9-ball lately. But for now, folks, we're going to leave it for the crowd to enjoy as Ted and I make our way to the comm box.
And while they do that, let's have a look at the bottom half of the draw. Lely won this event back in '99, but Ralph Souquet has won 4 times. Reyes, a living legend. Wych faces O'Sullivan, a clash of 2 Q games. Confirmation of the results so far. Hundal will face Fayen in the last 8. Valdez awaits the winner of our next match, Davis and Pagulayan. Pagulayan, a player who divides his time between Toronto, Hawaii and Manila. And he's been talking to Jim Wych.
Well, Alex, the World Pool Masters, and this is a massive event, 16 players, the best from around the world. And what would winning this title mean to you?
It's gonna mean a lot to me, because I always want to win this event, and I haven't won the World Pool Master yet. This is the only thing I haven't won yet.
Now, you play Steve Davis in the 1st round, and he's not an unfamiliar foe, is he? You've played Steve before.
Yeah, I played him a couple of times, and I have a good record with him, but you know what pool's like, Jim. You never know. It's like anybody's game in our caliber, so whoever plays better or good on that day is going to win.
And the break, obviously, going to be huge with the alternating break format, Alex. Puts a little pressure on trying to win your break, doesn't it?
It is, because the table doesn't break that hard. You're always going to make balls. And the key is to get that, I think, the first break, because it's very huge when you guys go 1-to-1, and when it's hill and it's your break, and it's a big advantage to the guy who's breaking.
Listen, you're always a crowd favorite, Alex, and you know you're one of mine, buddy. Good luck out there.
Thank you very much, Jim. You know, you're one of the best. I don't care what everybody said, you're all right.
So on to match 4, where your commentators are Ted Lerner and Jim Wych.
The legend, the nugget, Romford Slim. You know you've made it into the history books when you've got a wide array of nicknames, and the 6-time world snooker champion bows to no one in the world of cue sports. But this isn't his favorite discipline. Up against the former world champion, the reigning U.S. Open champion, the Lion, Allex Pagulayan, and the Lag. And I wonder if that's going to be an indication of how close this is going to be, because not much to choose between them, Ted.
What an intriguing matchup, Jim, this is. You have the snooker legend against perhaps one of the very top players in the world today. You could make the claim that he is the best player in the world today. Former world champion back in 2004. And you know, Steve Davis had a funny thing at the practice table. He hasn't been playing much. He just arrived, and he said he was feeling tired. And he said, I'm a little jet lagged right now. He came
1 hour time change.
1 hour time change. I think that, you know, he likes to play that gamesmanship.
Well, Alex was within earshot as he breaks off in the opening rack, and he needs that 5 to bump that 4 into the open, because I can tell you, folks, he's got a great break and a fine look at the 2 here. Wing ball deposited. Alex was here, and he knows the way this table's been breaking. And I'll tell you what he said to me prior to the outset of this match, Ted. The lag is big.
So he expects this match to be close. He is not going to assume anything. Like I said, Steve Davis, he does that gamesmanship stuff. He'll try to talk himself down, but he can perform miracles on this table.
Nobody's more competitive than Davis. You'll see a very different look on Steve's face as soon as this starts to take a personality, this match. Davis will turn into a robot.
Alex, by his own admission, has not played a lot of pool lately. He won the U.S. Open Championship by beating Jose Perica back in September in Virginia. And after that, he said he has not played much pool.
He doesn't have any angle here, Ted. That's the problem. Oh, he's forced it, trying to get that cue ball over towards the middle of the table. He'd like to have got it a lot closer to his work. This is no easy look at the long 4 ball right now. And the other problem for Alex as he looks at it is the reason he needed that cue ball in the middle is he's got to dig into it to try and cannon into the 5, get a thicker contact to hold position to the 5 next. A very difficult shot, and given that it's the opening rack, 3 times. 3 times harder.
We've seen a lot of that in this tournament so far. Balls rattling in the jaws.
Yeah, it was never going to be easy. One more look at it. Just tried to dig into that white, and as I said, had he been in the middle of the table, that would have been able, he'd have been able to execute that a lot easier.
By Davis's own admission, he likes to play his way into tournaments, so this sort of knockout, once and done thing, as we have here in the Masters, is not his favorite format.
And this is a very stiff draw for both of these players. Nice speed there, using the 6 and the 8 to create problems for Alex, but this is a difficult draw for both of them because Steve is never easy. He leaves it all on the table every single time he plays. And Alex is just pure talent and emotion. So quite a contrast here, not only in styles, but in personalities. Alex kicking at this off that side cushion. I don't know if there's room in behind that 4 to try and get in behind it. This is trusting to luck a little. Yeah, that's the danger, getting in behind that 4. The in-off was always going to be on. I think Alex was trying to get that off the 1 cushion. One more look at it. Just enough room for the cue ball to get underneath it, and as soon as that happened, there was only one place for the cue ball to finish.
And don't forget, it's a race to 8. Alternate break. So Pagulayan won the lag. Now Davis with a chance to grab that very rack and come to the table with the break in the next game.
And in fairness, Ted, there should be absolutely no reason why Steve doesn't take this rack. Doesn't like it. A little too straight. He'd like to have had an angle and got the cue ball out to the middle. He may have to draw this back and possibly even play that 6 to the middle pocket. Oh, it's come out. What a horrific miss from Davis there. And if for no other reason, I think you can attribute this, but see, this table is playing very difficult. A lot tougher than we've ever seen in the past, because that ball would have been in normally. But Steve tried to do a little too much with the cue ball, and that was because he had no angle on that 5, but that's a real let-off for Pagulayan, even though Davis got away with the miss and didn't leave Allex a nice, easy attacking shot. But a bank is possible. Very possible. What a shot from Pagulayan there. And that hurts. That hurts the Steve Davis supporters in the crowd as well.
Well, it's 9 ball, and you cannot give anybody a rack until that 9 ball drops.
And the 9 to hold serve for Pagulayan and keep Steve suffering in his chair. Needed to win that rack to establish a little bit of favoritism that he would have come in with, but also because it was his break. It'll be Steve to break in the second, but it's 1-0 to Pagulayan.
Get the chalk off with the new and improved pool table cleaner. Just spray it out over the table and wipe it clean with the handy microfiber wiper, and your pool table is cleaner than new. Get the chalk off with this professional pool table cleaner. You get free shipping when you call us toll-free 866-774-8770 or visit us online at pooltablecleaner.com. Get the chalk off today.
Second rack, Steve Davis to break, trailing by 1 rack to 0.
Rack number 2, Romford Slim at the table to try and make amends for that bad miss on the 5 in the last. Nice soft break. That'll suit Steve, Ted, because if there is something that he gives up in the game of 9 ball, it's being able to hit the break with a lot of power. So the way this table is breaking certainly will help him. One more look. He can concentrate on controlling that cue ball, knowing that wing ball is virtually a certainty. Oh, he elected to attack on that one. Would have been a very easy safety, but Steve understands 9 ball. He knows the attacking players usually get to the finish line. See, Allex is just wondering. He's got a couple safety options here. Neither one of them are real easy, and the order of the day when you're playing safe is you want to get as aggressive with it as you can. Did I say he was playing safe, Ted?
What a terrific shot. And position on the 2.
And hampered cueing, too. He was bridging right over the 5, and that's what led me to believe that he may not attack that one. But again, I talked about the shot making, and Allex is one of the best. He didn't hit that one nearly as clean as he wanted to. That went into the top half of that bottom corner, and that's why that cue ball didn't get back out towards the middle. And this is a lot tougher than it needed to be. And you don't need to tell Allex that. Oh, that was a great recovery. Wiped its feet going into the pocket, but most importantly, it did disappear. And he doesn't want to be straight here. I wonder if he's contemplating trying to draw this back. You can see he's got very little angle. I wonder if he wants to try and draw this back, missing the colors. If he can cheat the pocket here and play top, that's what he'll elect to do. Try and force that cue ball because he wants to stay on the left-hand side of the table. The other option, as I was going to suggest before I saw the angle that he had, was to try and draw between those colors, and that would have been a dangerous move. Very significant as well. This was Davis's break. Sorry, Ted, is there anyone that enjoys playing more than Allex?
I mean, he's so enthusiastic about the game, even on the practice table. He exudes enthusiasm.
He's just a lot of fun to be around. No matter what's going on, you just can't help but enjoy yourself when you're in his presence. And he's the one enjoying himself right now. 2-0. He's taken the first 2 racks in this race to 8. It's a best of 15 for a place in the quarterfinals, the Whirlpool Masters. House here, the Hotel Zuiderduin in the Netherlands. Just a beautiful venue right on the beach. Walk down to the beach, and that was packed as well. I was down there earlier today.
Leading by 2 racks to 0.
These guys here, this is all business. Rack number 3, the Lion is roaring. He's off to a flyer, 2-0 in front.
2 balls down. And there's the 9.
9 into the side. Wow. Just like that. That's how quick it can happen, folks. A golden break. The first one of the event so far. Then Pagulayan 3-0 in front. Well, one more look at it here,
It was
Ted.
just sitting there, Jim. And watch the 5 ball.
That's the one that parked it to the bottom of the corner.
Perfect. As if he meant to do it.
What a beautiful sight for Pagulayan.
And a great feeling, too.
Rack 4. Steve
And
Davis.
just like that, it's rack number 4. Pagulayan takes his seat and Davis comes out, but it's 3-0 to Pagulayan. 2 balls down off the break for Steve this time. But once again, he has not been lucky with how they've rolled out. He's got no shot at the 1. Not been lucky, Davis, in this match to this stage. It's still early days, but he doesn't want to dig himself in too deep.
Do you think he's thinking about that shot? He was played aggressive back in rack number 2 when he could have played safe, and then he ended up giving the rack over to Allex.
It was a little uncharacteristic for Steve, but he does understand that the top players do play a very aggressive game. And he just flicked the 6 there. That was unintended. Otherwise, that cue ball would have been on the other side of that 3. But at least he's got Allex. And now Allex isn't very tall, folks. I don't know whether you can tell on your screen. He's about 5'0". And to try and reach this and bridge over that 3, not without a step ladder. And the fact that he's right-handed doesn't help him either.
Tall one, no.
See, he's asked for, I don't know whether he wants the spider or the extended spider,
Goes in the end of the cue,
or whether he wants stilts.
if you want to use that.
And the other option is to cue into this and try and kick at that one off 2 cushions. Try and catch it full in the face. But I can also tell you, Ted, Allex is a very accomplished snooker player. Not in the league of a Steve Davis, but he's a semi-finalist, former semi-finalist in the Canadian Snooker Championships, and beat Kirk Stevens, a former world number 4, en route to that semi-final. That was a few years back. But he's made century breaks on a snooker table. I guess what I'm trying to say, he's pretty handy with the rest. Now he needed a full contact, and he should be leaving Steve a chance here at the 1.
And that rest has been known to make a few even great players look foolish over the years.
Well, this was Davis's break again, rack number 4, so Steve can ill afford to throw one more away. He must take advantage of this.
Oh, this is desperation time already early in the match for Davis. Don't forget, it's an alternate break format, so even if he wins this rack, he's got to sit down and Allex is back at the table. So you have to keep the mistakes at a minimum. And he had problems with this pocket before, but okay.
Safely negotiated this time. And for Davis to take his first rack of this match. Down it goes, and relief, the main feeling experienced by the Nugget right now. Finally it comes. 3-1 to Pagulayan.
Nice rack. Hey, we're talking about the Club Rack. The Club Rack is precision made to pro specification from the finest hardwood for extreme durability. The Club Rack is available in 3 beautiful colors: oak, cherry, and natural. Visit theclubrack.com or call us toll-free. Get the Club Rack. It's full like it ought to be.
Welcome back to the partycasino.com World Pool Masters, where Pagulayan leads Steve Davis 5-2 in the race to 8. This is rack 8.
You'd have to be a little lucky not to leave it if he misses it. But he could flick it into this side if he hits it perfect. Oh, that was a full throttle go at getting lucky, but unfortunately for him, Lady Luck did not smile on him. The cue ball straight into that side pocket.
This is a major opportunity for Davis right now.
Oh, big time. But I'm surprised, Allex. He just let fly with that one. Lives on the edge. Turning cards for big money and firing at pool balls for big money as well. But Steve with ball in hand, and you can see there's no obvious problems. Everything in the open, just about controlling the cue ball. And unlike snooker, Ted, in this game, you try and leave yourself angle. Very important, because it gives you all the positional options. And on a snooker table, you know, the full hits are the ones that you're trying to achieve when you're playing position, so you can keep that cue ball nice and tidy. Spinning it off the 2 cushions. Thin cut on the 4 here. The natural angle, keep the cue ball in the middle of the table. 2 cushions and back up for the 5.
One thing I always gather from snooker players is that They always say
please
that
not
when they
use your
turn to
cameras if
nine
you
ball,
don't know
that
that the
their
flash
snooker
is off?
background helps them with their stroke in crunch time, meaning that they can rely on that stroke.
Well, snooker players, in fairness, and I mean, I obviously over the years, I've probably shown a bit of bias to snooker players because I come from a snooker background. But in my opinion, Ted, they've found the holy grail in terms of fundamentals. Their technique is so sound that it's all about execution and cue delivery in any cue sport. What snooker players don't see coming to a 9-ball table are the patterns. How to remove the balls and kick shots are something else that I find that snooker players struggle with. And see, there again, Steve just losing the cue ball, and that's not about execution. I mean, he's delivering the cue well, but he's not understanding the angles and how to go after it, and quite possibly he tried to do a little too much there. A little unlucky for the cue ball to go down, but he tempted fate, running around the angles with the cue ball.
Well, that's nothing short of a disaster for Davis because he's down 5-2 in a race to 8.
Yeah, you're going to be making that 6-2 very shortly. Just a thinnish cut on the 9. You've got to expect Allex to park this to the bottom of the corner, which he does. And you can make it 6-2 confirmed now. Pagulayan with the break in the next. And that was a complete turnaround.
Thank you. Rack 9. Allex Pagulayan to break, leading by 6 racks to 2.
Well, you heard it from our head referee, Michaela Tab. Rack number 9, and a very useful lead of 6-2 to Pagulayan. He's lost the cue ball here. The last thing you ever want to do is go forward with that cue ball. Unfortunate, Allex has got a long chance at the 1. But had he kept that cue ball in the middle of the table, how much easier this would have been.
And then nothing hit the cue ball. That was his own doing. So everything's in his hands, Jim, right now at 6-2, alternate break, and it's just a race to 8. And in the World Pool Masters, you lose, you're out.
And Allex has left Davis a chance. I think he just tried to pinch the pocket slightly to get the cue ball into the middle there, and there was an angle that didn't present itself, so Steve has to take advantage of this.
And for those casual fans out there, it must be pointed out that when a player of the caliber of Allex Pagulayan misses a shot like that, it's not because he maybe hit just a bad shot. He's looking for position. So there's so many things to think about when executing a shot.
Now, if Steve doesn't have any angle on this too, he may be forced to try and play a 3-6 plant, or as they say in North America, a combination shot. It all depends on the angle. He's got a little angle, so he could try and work that cue ball. This is really just about personal preference.
What did you call that shot?
A plant. That's what they call it in the UK. When you're playing one ball onto another, it's termed a plant. You've never heard that before, Ted?
Never heard that.
Well, Steve wishes he'd gone for the plant now. Just lost the cue ball again. I talked about the patterns earlier, the positional patterns, and that's where Steve's struggling right now. And he has let Allex off big time. And if Allex can get through to this 3, another chance. Even though he missed the long 1, he comes back to the table a couple minutes later, and his confidence has got to be soaring right now.
And frustration setting in for Davis. He didn't really even look at that shot right there, that safety. He just bent over and hit it.
I was talking to Steve earlier, and he's just received brand new ping golf clubs as well. He can't wait to get on the golf course and try those out. Become an avid golfer. That's one of his hobbies. Well, he didn't want to have to book that tee time quite so early, though, Ted. I think Allex is trying to help him work on his golf game.
We can just blame it on the hour jet lag.
Oh, did you see Allex leaning there? He tried to pinch the pocket and hold position in the middle, and you even see Steve frowning. He couldn't believe Pagulayan missed that. But this was nothing more than just trying to keep the cue ball there. And Ted, you made reference to players not always thinking about just pocketing the ball, thinking about the cue ball. That's what cost Allex that one. Very careless. And we'll see if it ends up coming back to hunt Pagulayan. This should have been 7-2.
Hey, you'll hear fans sometimes say, how did he miss that? And right on the 9.
Davis gratefully accepts that Christmas come early gift. 6-3. And every chance now. Steve's got the break in the next. If he can keep the pressure on Pagulayan, who knows?
The game starts with a clean table. Get it clean with Chalk Off, the official pool table cleaner of the U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship. Just spray it on and wipe it off. That's all it takes. Clean your pool table in less than 60 seconds with Chalk Off and the new microfiber Brunge. It's a brush and a sponge all in one. For more information, call us toll-free. Visit chalkoff.com or call your local retailer and ask for it by name. That's Chalk Off, the complete pool table cleaner.
Rack 10, Steve Davis to break, trailing by 6 racks to 3.
He trails 6-3 as he settles into rack number 10. Cue ball was heading right towards that corner pocket, and thankfully the 4 came to disturb its target. And now he's got a shot at the 1 here. It's a difficult one into the corner pocket, but it should afford position to the 2. The 1 will be tracking to the bottom left corner. Steve just looks out of sorts to me. His mind might be elsewhere because this is not the Steve Davis that I've come to see playing 9-ball, not when he digs his heels in. You can see Pagulayan can see that 1, but position from the 1 to the 2, that's another story.
Well, this is his big opportunity now to put the final nail into the coffin of this match, because if he can work his way through the puzzle that's presented to him right now, he's got the break in rack number 11, and he might be able to finish off this match.
Well, that was difficult. He was bridging over the 4. I mean, he's got to feel slightly unlucky for it to stop right over the side pocket. But, you know, you pay your money and you take your chances when you attack.
Is there something about that pocket in the lower left corner? We have seen a number of misses in this match over there.
Well, I like what Steve did. He just took an extra minute. He just wants to be certain of the angle. He broke here. Just secure in this rack. Keeps him in with a chance.
And this is the beauty of 9-ball. This is what the fans like. This is why you see a packed house like this. He was on death's bed. He was, Pagulayan could have very easily put the final nail into the coffin. And here we go. Steve Davis with an opportunity, if he can figure out this rack, to move within 2. And who knows after that.
Oh, that was a good recovery shot. It was a tougher 3 than it should have been, but Steve parked it to the corner pocket and keeps himself on course to secure this rack. It hasn't been the most confidence-boosting of racks for either player, really, Ted. Number of misses. A little similar to our Raj Hundal opening round match, that kicked things off in this year's Masters. There were a number of misses from both camps, and Hundal beating Takanaka there.
Well, you've got to put them out of your mind. You've got to take it 1 ball at a time, and he's got 1 ball left here in rack number 10. He escapes yet again. With the 9 down, and Davis pulls within 2. 6-4. And Allex Pagulayan will break in rack number 11. It's a race to 8 alternate break here at the World Pool Masters.
Thank you. Rack 11. Allex Pagulayan to break, leading by 6 racks to 4.
So number 11 welcomes Allex to the table now. He's got a 6-4 lead. This match is still within his grasp. And Allex knows it. Everything in the open.
Yeah, but Jim, Allex also knows that in the last 2 racks he's had some very bad misses that have cost him an opportunity to get on the hill. So he's got to block out those misses, and that is very hard to do in a sport like pool. You cannot pass that cue stick to anybody. You're out there all alone with your thoughts and your cue.
You touched on it earlier, Ted, about having to dwell on misses, but you and I both have been around the pool scene enough to know that success in this game means dwelling in the present. You've got to try and live for the moment. Can't change what's happened. You've got to keep those positive heads and keep those positive thoughts. That's what Pagulayan, that's what champions do. Champions understand it's all about survival. I say it so often, but the score sheets never say how, just who. That was a great shot from Pagulayan. Avoided the traffic.
Crowd appreciates it.
4 cushions and nicely onto the 4. And it would have all gone awry had that cue ball contacted the 5, and Allex knew it. Beautifully played. You see that finger dangling when he bridges, especially with the loop bridge or the closed bridge. Watch his middle finger dangling, even as he's cueing. It's not often you see that. Oh, now he's got it out. Still moving, though. When he was queuing up earlier, he had it tucked underneath, and it was just dangling and quivering. And boy, what concentration.
Well, if there's anybody who can put those mistakes out of his mind, it's Allex Pagulayan. We've seen him in some of the most pressure-packed situations. I remember in several matches in the World Pool Championship, he was able to overcome plenty of mistakes and plenty of doubts and pull out just dramatic victories.
His match, when he won the World Championship in the quarterfinals, his match against Fong Pang Chow will go down, certainly in my mind, as one of the greatest matches in World Championship history. Some of the shots Pagulayan made there, just unbelievable shots.
Well, he was
under extreme duress.
He was parked in his chair. He was ahead 10-5 in a race to 11. He was parked in his chair for about 40 minutes as Fong Pang Chow just came back and looked like he was going to steamroll Pagulayan, and Pagulayan got a break in that final rack. And you're right, Jim, some of those shots were absolute classics in that one.
Eight, 9. Perfect angle to come back down for the 9. And what looks like a 7-4 lead will bring Steve to the table to break in the 12th. And knowing he can afford no more mistakes. And also knowing he needs a bit of help because Pagulayan still has that break of serve in hand. But it's 7-4 to the former world champion.
Are you looking for the ultimate one-stop shop for pool and billiard supplies? Then you need to visit billiardclub.net today for everything and anything you need for your home entertainment center. Our huge online store features pool cues, balls, racks, cue cases, pool table lights, training aids, and every accessory you could possibly imagine. We've got the best prices and the highest quality products you'll find anywhere. Log on today to billiardclub.net or call toll-free 866-774-8770. billiardclub.net.
Rack 12, Steve Davis to break, trailing by 7 racks to 4.
Well, Ted, the writing's on the wall for Steve now. He knows the task at hand. He's got to hold serve. One down into the side pocket. Wing ball as well. And this isn't going to be easy, and you see the smirk from Steve. So often everything is broken and split very nicely for the breaker, but this is an exception.
You can see the cue ball rolling there. And he's fairly close to the rail. Now he's got himself on the bottom rail with a shot on the 4.
But the problem that Steve was smirking about is on the left-hand side of the table, that green 6. No pocket available for it. And all he can do is try and roll this 4 in. Leave himself able to cue comfortably at the orange 5 on the right-hand side. And if this was Efren Reyes, he would accept what the table offers, try and roll the 4 in, play the 5, and leave himself a bank shot. I wonder what's going through Steve's mind now. I mean, it's a difficult 4. As you've noted already, Kid Teddy's cueing from the bottom cushion, so now releasing that cue through the middle of that white, a priority. You know something? Given the position of that 6, oh, he didn't want that. That was the last thing he wanted. Given the position of the 6, Steve elected to refuse it. Now he's pointing at him. They're having a little fun with this. These guys are good pals. I mean, they've locked horns a few times, and Allex has gotten the better of Steve over the years. But you know, a lot of these specialized events, especially the ones put on by Matchroom, you know, they really do lock horns and have a lot of fun when they do. They enjoy themselves. I mean, you'd never see Steve do that in a million years on a snooker table. Oh, he tried to develop the 6, and what a great effort. But he has landed where he can try and bank that 6. If it goes by the 7 into the other side, he's coming to have a look now. If this banks, maybe worth the effort. And you know what a bank's called in the UK, Ted?
I'm dying to know.
A double. So for all our British fans, a double may be the order of the day for Steve, if it passes. And I'll tell you what, from our overhead camera, I'm not so sure it does. Very close. I don't think the double passes here. And it didn't. Steve elected to play safe. He needs that 6 to stop. And it stopped just in the nick of time. And Allex at 27 years of age. He's got great eyes, Ted. Does he have enough right now, enough courage to try and take the paint off this and slice this in? Might as well. If you're going to go down, you might as well go down with guns blazing, because the safety option here looks as tough as trying to pocket the 6. Trying to dig in with a little left-hand spin. And he's going at this full throttle. He's just got to gather himself and settle in, totally commit to the shot.
Play the masse or
He tried to spin that in. That was never going to be easy.
Wow, this is a big opening now for Steve Davis. And he just smiles as he gets off his chair because he's still in this match.
Amazingly still in this match. But not for long. I think that might have been the last shot that Steve strikes in this one. I don't think Allex expected to come back to the table so soon.
Well, it's a shame for Steve Davis, but when you look back on the story of this match, mistakes by both players, but there was just several more by that man right there.
Dead right, Ted. Just a few too many mistakes to take out a player the ilk of an Allex Pagulayan.
And you know, Jim, he had his chances in this match. He had plenty of chances to claw back in it.
And the 8 and 9, as easy as Allex could wish for. For the match, and a decisive 8-4 win. And Allex Pagulayan does his best to make sure Steve Davis gets a chance to try out those new golf clubs. 8-4, Pagulayan through to the quarterfinals, where he will oppose Vilmos Foldez in the last 8.
So the top half of the draw is complete. Hundal will face Fayen. Foldez takes on Allex Pagulayan. Now we look forward to the next match. England's Imran Majid faces the local fans as well as Alex Lely. Join us again here in Holland for more 9-ball action in the partycasino.com World Pool Masters.
You're watching the World Pool Masters on Billiard Club Television, where the greatest players compete for professional pool's most coveted titles. Billiard Club TV is brought to you by Chalk Off, the complete pool table cleaner and the official table cleaner of professional pool. Order yours today at chalkoff.com. And the Billiard Club Pro Shop, where you'll find the greatest deals on pool cues, balls, racks, and a whole lot more. For all your pool and billiard supplies, visit billiardclub.net. Billiard Club TV is your source for championship pool. This has been a presentation of Billiard Club Television. For more, log on to billiardclub.net.